Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Phillips and I'm a doctoral student at East Tennessee State University. Welcome to my ethics project that covers technology and ethical issues. Today I will briefly discuss cyberbullying, spend a little time on identity theft, and then take a closer look at cyber attacks. These issues are all technology enabled and have legal and ethical aspects associated with each. I will attempt to identify those aspects as we move along. I would like to briefly discuss cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is the use of electronic communication to bully a person, typically by sending messages of an intimidating or threatening nature. It is particularly prevalent with children, preteens, and teens. My peers in this class have discussed this in some detail, but I would like to present some statistics that show what a significant problem cyberbullying really is. According to the Do Something organization, a group dedicated to eliminating cyberbullying among school-age students, these are 11 facts about cyberbullying. I would ask that you focus on the 3 that I've highlighted in red. First, nearly 43% of kids have been bullied online, so this is very widespread. Only 1 in 10 victims will inform a parent or trusted adult of their abuse. So we as teachers or parents will likely not even know that this is occurring. And then finally, bullying victims are 2 to 9 times more likely to consider committing suicide. This is not an ethical use of technology and is certainly difficult to prevent, but we have to try. Next, I would like to briefly discuss identity theft, which is the fraudulent acquisition and use of a person's private identifying information, usually for financial gain. While identity theft is not new, the use of technology has caused it to explode in recent years. Identity thieves use technology to gather specific pieces of information in order to sell the information, steal from existing accounts, or use the information to open new lines of credit. The type of information they need include your username, passwords, and PIN numbers, social security numbers, phone and utility account numbers, bank and credit card account numbers, employment and student identification numbers, driver's license numbers, or college or university financial aid form information. It's estimated there are 130 million computer programs developed to steal identities. This translates to millions of dollars stolen from individuals and businesses each year. There are 2 aspects that make identity theft enticing to criminals. First, up to this point, most businesses are willing to write off the losses as just part of doing business. It costs too much to prevent the crime from occurring. The second enticing aspect is that identity fraud usually goes uninvestigated by law enforcement. Most small law enforcement agencies lack the expertise to solve the crime, and the FBI only gets involved if the number of victims is in the hundreds. As you can see, there are both criminal and ethical issues involved in identity theft. The use of technology to steal identities and then use for financial gain is clearly a crime. The ethical aspect that I see is that businesses and law enforcement should do more to stop this. Just because it is costly or difficult should not be the deciding factor. Next, I would like to spend the rest of our time discussing cyber attacks. A cyber attack is an attempt by a hacker to damage or destroy a computer network or system. Individuals, organizations, businesses, and nation states all initiate cyber attacks, and their targets can be a combination of individuals, organizations, businesses, and other nation states. Individuals can hack systems for fun or for personal gain. Organizations such as the group Anonymous target individuals and groups in the name of different causes or inequities. Businesses target to gain trade secrets and insider information. And nation states target other nations to gain political or diplomatic leverage, destroy military capability, or for retaliation. This slide provides information on 3 separate attacks, but this is just a sampling. There are countless examples available. The first example references 7 individuals that were placed on the FBI Most Wanted list. These individuals worked for a company based in Iran and were indicted for attacking a dam in New York City and numerous banking institutions over a 3-year period. The next example addresses claims that China continuously targets U.S. companies to gain business proprietary information and to gain advantage in business. The final example that I mentioned is the U.S. claim that North Korea targeted Sony Pictures Entertainment after they planned to release a controversial movie named The Interview. In all 3 examples, the incidents resulted in the loss of millions of dollars for the targets. Cyber attacks between different nations has been common practice for many years. The nations fight for dominance in cyberspace, and it is a normal part of military operations, especially with the US, Russia, China, and North Korea. It is reported in open media that these 4 countries have created specific and trained organizations that conduct offensive and defensive operations. These operations focus on breaking into networks, disrupting communication channels, and stopping improvised explosive devices from being triggered through cell phones. The danger here is that there is no international standing or framework that is binding over any one nation state in terms of offensive cyber operations. The restraint they show is due primarily to the potential diplomatic and political consequences. The worry is that a cyber attack could be seen as an act of war, and then traditional responses could result. The United Nations has not addressed cyber attacks. The criminal aspects are obvious with the individual, organization, and business attacks. The nation actions are not as clearly defined. The ethical aspects are clear in some circumstances, but they can be cloudy in some other situations too. Here are the references that I used for this presentation. I found this topic very interesting, and I hope that my presentation made you think about technology and how there can be associated ethical issues. Thank you for listening.